Hello everyone, my name is Sujal and I am starting this assignment. Our company name is Smart Data Solution and we are working with the live client that is KleenShield Solution and we are team number 6. Assignment name is Development Progress Status Report. So let me start with the market research and it is the initial step where we started our analysis. We started by conducting online research to understand the Fogger market, analyzing product feature, pricing, identify their various industry use like such as greenhouse, gym, food processing, etc. Our goal was to understand the market landscape and collect the insight that would guide our next step in product analysis and development. To get a better view, we collected product information from both the USA and Canadian market, which help us to understand the pricing difference and product position. From the research, we shortlisted over 60 relevant products available on the Amazon and compiled the URL and serve as the input for our scraping stage. And the tool we use for the technology we use for our scraping to process the analyzing the data, we use python.x as a primary programming language. The key library we use include playwright for the browsing automation, panda for data handling and csv processing, and word clouds for text visualization. We developed and tested our code in VS Code and Jupyter Notebook and also Microsoft Form to collect the survey from the customers to collect the data. And one of the main technical component was to building the Amazon scraper. Initially created a prototype to extract the product information relevant to Foggers. The scraper collected the data as name, price, rate, and all the reviews available, and the data is directly saved as the drive Fogger CSV for the later E&A and the word cloud insights. And the Amazon scraper gave a clear picture of what customers are buying, their preference and limitation in purchasing Foggers. We began with the prototype and shared it with the we share it basically to our data files. The stage the project provide both lots of insight that guide our next step in market analysis. After that, we created a shortlisted all the products and created in our uh, for the data, and we have the all the urls for whatever the products are available as a in the market, where we can see our company and remaining products as a competitor. So this is a list of all the datas what we have. So thank you, Professor. Now Robert will continue and tell you regarding the scraper. We made three scraper. He will define each and every one.
Thank you very much. So the next important part of the project was setting up the web scraper. Now that we have our data, or at least the location of our data, we need to extract it. However, Amazon proved to be a very difficult website to scrape because as a professional website with security, they are prepared for such attempts. So our first attempt was made using a Python library called Playwright, and it failed. I'm not really sure why. We just couldn't get this working. So then we just reverted back to the basics that we were all used to. We then tried to make a web scraper using Beautiful Soup, just using very standard techniques. However, it failed. We were able to bypass the initial bot detector using a browser header, which allowed us to disguise our activity as a browser. And we were able to get some information out of the website. However, we figured out that reviews, which were the most important data that we needed, were locked behind a login. So Beautiful Soup was not powerful enough of a tool on its own to be able to get those. So after a little bit of research, I discovered a Node.js library called Puppeteer, and I saw how to actually use that to scrape, and I discovered that someone made a Python port of this module called Puppeteer. And the way this works is it makes a dummy instance of a browser, and in that dummy instance, you can do things like enter logins. So we made a Puppeteer and Beautiful Soup combination scraper as our final attempt, and you can see a picture of what some of it looks like over here. And it worked. It allowed us to bypass the login. I used the browser headers again to disguise that we were a bot, and I also put in a rotating delay, which allowed us to move between multiple pages at a very slow rate to disguise ourselves further, and we were able to iterate over the list of websites that we had collected. Unfortunately, we were still only able to collect 5 or 6 reviews per website because the others were locked behind Java encryption and they were not available for us with our current resources. Here's another picture of the scraper. There's there's a lot of stuff here. So once we were done everything, we were able to collect a text file of 65 megabytes worth of raw HTML. And to parse it, we needed to make a custom parser that was able to deal with it because it was too complex and too messy. And we were able to extract company and product names, price, rating, and all the review data that we needed with this. So here's an image of what the start of the HTML file looks like. Now, finally, cleaning the data proved to be a bit of a challenge as well. Some data was not in English, so we needed to translate it using a Google Translate API. There were some entry errors. For example, if there was a product that was out of stock, we need to manually set that because they caused issues. Some characters were invalid and they needed to be removed. And there were some duplication errors because of the way Amazon handles their HTML. So here's what our total data set looks like. Now, to begin our discussion of EDA, first we will talk about the dataset on its own. It contains 278 individual reviews with 7 variables for now, and we were able to do a few things to it later, which we will then get to. So here's a screenshot of the data, and I will hand over the recording now.
Thanks. Hello, my name is Asim, and I will walk through the EDA that our team conducted on Fogger's Market, collecting from Amazon. So we have two different graph here showing the price and rating distribution. The rating distribution looks very positive. We have a mostly like 5 star, and which is look like typically the customer is satisfied. And if you see the next one, the second graph is showing like the price range, and we have like a mostly within 300 range approximately most people. Looks like the customer satisfaction is common in the Fogger's market regarding even the price. Second, we have here the outline. So the box plot shows here few premium brands, Jaybird and Vector, which is listed on the right-hand side. And so we have a few outliers here, which I listed as well. And next, we did segmentation because we have a different price range. So we divided into budget, mid-range, and premium, where the review counts are more high in the mid-range, and the premium foggers are far less frequently purchased, maybe. So we have a most like a mid-range dominant demand. Mm, Sentiment analysis with the waiter, and we see the positive, negative, and neutral in the overall sentiment analysis. And here is the pie chart graph, which shows like most of the like a positive and negative and neutral were very few. Next is the tokenization process, where we at the first picture we just removed the special characters, and then the next step was the stop removal. So we remove the stop words, and then we clean with the stop word. Then the next one is we have done tokenization, so separated, and the below result shows like how we have separated, and then there is a POS as well we applied. And so this is just one line which shows how we have divided all tokenization. And the next is we searched for the different words like a greenhouse, warehouse, clean, price. So we can count them. We can see like how many times the people talk about these specific things, like where the people are using. So when we apply this method, it shows us the total number of the each mid-range budget range and premium, where we have used these words, where we find the most of these words. And here's the counting average, the word we have used. If I focus on the premium one, so you see it is most likely used by the greenhouses and warehouses, and this premium product shows quite percentage as well, which mean it should be quite or quieter, and are and the lightweight. And these are the things so we can suggest to the customer according to the sentiment analysis. Thank you, and I will hand over to next. Thanks.
Next part, as you can see, like we have already added in the presentation as well. So as we move towards the challenges and solution for this, the data was very limited, and for that, the continuous analysis and research was going on to overcome that. Also, Amazon issue with the scrapping for the restrictions, it was solution. The solution for that was custom scrapper plus manual URL list approach. The third challenge was missing price or some of the product those were out of stock. For that, we converted the price to numeric with NAN and kept a review for sentiment. The last one was data accuracy and reliability concern. So for this, we used patterns interpretation. So moving towards the next thing, that is survey form. So first we generated the survey form in Google, but as per the instructions, we switched the form to Microsoft because the Microsoft form comes with more options and more features. So ensured all questions were mandatory fields and like we made insurance that every field in the form should be mandatory and everyone should fill them all. So the final Microsoft form served as an official data collection tool for capturing the data for the KleenShield. So moving towards the technical part for the form, so we designed the structured Microsoft form to collect commercial environmental data across multiple industries to get idea what people are paying and what are the basic things that they are using for the sanitization. So moving towards for the data analysis. So key points that will be beneficial for KleenShield analysis that we have decided yet is regression implementation and classification. We are thinking that we will do that, uh, and that will be beneficial for the company. However, we are trying to improvise the data before doing that, because if we can do that, then it will be more good analysis. So moving towards prototype dashboard. So as you can see, the dashboard is just a prototype for now. The dashboard preview visualize the review volume, product counts, price, trends, and sentiment based word clouds. Also moving towards the next part. So this is prototype dashboard as well. The second dashboard, like it's just a version 2. This dashboard variation shows additional features like KPIs such as average ratings, customer satisfaction, trends, and product mix. So moving towards the last part, that is SharePoint timesheet analysis. This is the final slide. It includes budget, as you can see, and also actual cost, weekly hours, resources usage. Also, we used to update everything that we do, the files and folders, everything we used to upload here. So that's all for this presentation, and thank you, Professor. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, so as we could see in our presentation, the main insights that we have discovered is that the product is not necessarily viable in its current form, and we should work on reducing its size and price to be more aligned with what is already on the market. And furthermore, our market research has revealed a lot of interesting options for getting our product on the market, a lot of new fields that we can actually enter. So yes, our research did prove to be very helpful. Thank you very much, and have a great day.